Hello there and welcome. Today I watched the new film American Fiction, and now I want to review it for you. It's a dramatic comedy based on a novel by Percival Everett. Cord Jefferson wrote the screenplay and directed the film, which stars Jeffrey Wright as Thelonious Ellison, Erica Alexander as Coraline, and Sterling K. Brown as Clifford Ellison. The story is about a black American writer named Thelonious Ellison. He's trying to publish another book when it's rejected. Then he gets suspended from his teaching job, and after returning home, has a family member die suddenly. Amid all this bad luck, Thelonious sees an author presenting their book. It's about an authentic black experience, but contains a bunch of offensive stereotypes about black culture and black people. Angered and drunk, Thelonious decides to write his own book parodying the black experience and sends it out to a bunch of publishers as a joke. When the book sells, he finds himself drawn into the height of hypocrisy. As Thelonious tries hard to sabotage his new career, he finds the dumber he acts, the more attention he gets. The cast revolves entirely around Thelonious, his sister Lisa, his mother, his brother Cliff, his love interest Coraline, and his lifelong nanny Lorraine. There are also a few characters around him like his agent and colleagues at work, as well as the different publishers and executives he meets with under his pseudonym. Thelonious Ellison is an asshole who believes in the purity of writing. He's quick to judge others, quick to put them down, and is terrible at navigating social situations. Thelonious tries his best to get along with his family and do the right thing, but he also finds himself easily tempted by money. The visual journey follows Thelonious around during his personal life and watches him meet with the different members of his family and spend time with them. There is also a second storyline of him meeting with his agent and the two of them meeting with different publishers and executives to sell his book. It's a pretty standard drama, so there are a lot of back and forth conversations with a few montage moments of Thelonious living his daily life. There are also lots of pleasant-looking locations and sets as well as a few nice shots of the beach. Sound-wise, the film uses a mixture of jazz and blues tracks to set the atmosphere and a bit of instrumental music to support the emotional journey. The jazz and blues songs tend to be light and simple with a slightly elegant sound to them. The instrumental tracks appear in short bursts to help punctuate a joke or to drive home an emotional moment. There aren't many of them, but they are usually the go-to for key moments in the story. Okay, so how was it? The story is a straightforward comedy that repeats the same joke for an hour and 50 minutes with a little bit of romance and emotional turmoil sprinkled in for good measure. It has a few nice ideas and the occasional funny moment, but it isn't an exciting film, and after a while, the humor gets quite stale. Thelonious Ellison is a cynical character that is slightly charming despite his repulsive behavior, but his story doesn't go anywhere. We're not even given a good moral lesson about the topic or even a lot of nuanced views. Even the ending was a joke about how they didn't know what to say on the topic and how they went with a cop-out. The cast did a great job with what they were given, and quite a few of them managed to make a big impact with their roles. Most of them are playing normal people with a single personality trait usually related to a joke. There is a lot of humor from the extras and a lot of heart from Thelonious's family. The big standouts to me were Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown. Jeffrey Wright's character is an elitist, judgmental dick. He's rude to other people, dismissive of their opinions and ideas, and comes from extreme privilege. Despite all that, Jeffrey Wright manages to humanize the character through his emoting and humor. Wright turns him into a complex character that we laugh at for his hypocrisy, but also sympathize with and root for. Sterling K. Brown also plays a dick, but his character becomes more understandable as the story unfolds. He's the black sheep of the family and hasn't had the same life Thelonious has. Brown plays out a few small emotional moments that are quite powerful and help illustrate a point the film is trying to make in a big way. Visually, the film is quite nice to look at, but doesn't have any big standout moments apart from the ending. The journey is filled with good set and costume work and fairly clean camera work. There are even some nice shots of the beach and of Thelonious contemplating life there. That said, the film is made up of very simple conversations and a bunch of locations. Aside from that, nothing is going on. No big visual jokes, no big emotional moments, and even the scenery was local nice and not exotic nice. The soundtrack is the same way. The blues and jazz songs they play are great at building a soft and comforting atmosphere. They sit under the dialogue and don't interfere with it at all. They also don't add anything to the emotional journey, and they get a bit repetitive. There are a lot of similar tracks being played, and they all start to run together at a certain point. The instrumentals they used were a bit more impactful, but they only used them 3 or 4 times. Overall, American Fiction is an okay film. The writing has good moments, but is generally quite repetitive and bland. The film doesn't have anything meaningful to say that hasn't already been said 1,000 times, and there's nothing stand out about the visual journey or the soundtrack. It's just a nice film without much flavor. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 5 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.